League is back, people, and we have already known about it. We've been hearing more about it, and we've seen already what has happened. It has just come to an end, and there's so many results to talk about, and also the group stages, how it's looking like. We're going to be covering it on the Connect. So do me a favor, if you're watching this, click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. Also, I'm going to talk about Tottenham Hotspurs as well as Aston Villa. Remember, I promised you that I'll talk about those teams, but here we are now here talking about the Champions League while we build up to that, and maybe I'll give you my thoughts on the Europa games which are going to be played. Remember, there is an element of of caring now into the Europa, because that's where my team is, Liverpool, as you already know. Do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. That's the best way you support Sam, and that's how you help the channel grow. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of the Champions League? Where do you see it going? What are you expecting? So many reaction videos are coming from this. I have a Arsenal goalkeeper issue to talk about. I have a Maguire and the Onana situation to talk about in this video, so stay tuned and let's see what we talk about. So there were so many games that were played this week, just from yesterday Tuesday to today, the time of recording, by the way, because I feel like when I put out this, it'll be on a Thursday, because time is moving like crazy. But anyway, we're going to be talking about it. But as we stand here right now, as I'm looking at the results as they all come in, I can confirm to you that on the games that were played, which was group stages, match week 3, Galatasaray played against Bayern Munich. They lost by 3-1. Inter played against RB Salzburg. Inter won by 2-1. Union Berlin played against Napoli, and Napoli won by 1-0. Sevilla played against Arsenal, and Arsenal won by 2-1. What a comeback after especially the Chelsea game. Then Braga played against Real Madrid, and Bellingham continues to run Real Madrid as they won by 2-1. As we see, Linz played against PSV, and Linz, after beating Arsenal, they were able to draw 1-1 with PSV. As we look at Benfica, which played Real Sociedad, and the game ended. Real Sociedad won by 1-0. Harry Maguire and Onanas were the talk of the town as Manchester United hosted Copenhagen, and they won by 1-0. As we look at the Barcelona continuing into their Champions League group, as they played against Shakhtar Donetsk, and they won by 2-1. Feyenoord played against Lazio, and they won by 3-1. As we move on to today, where we saw Newcastle playing against Borussia Dortmund, and guess what? The Dortmund won. They won by 1-0. RB Leipzig played against, I think it's called the Veda or something like that. I don't know how you pronounce that. And they won by 3-1. Young boys played against Man City. Usually when I talk about young boys, I always remember Manchester United, because I think at one stage they surprised Manchester United. But they played against Man City, and Haaland is back to scoring ways as he scored a brace as the game ended 3-1. PSG played against the AC Milan. Yes, the same PSG that lost to Newcastle. They've just went in and won by 3-0 against AC Milan. Celtic had an amazing performance, home performance against Atletico Madrid in a game that ended 2-2, but there were so many red cards that were shown in there was a one red card where, I mean, not even so many, but that's how it ended. As we look at Porto, which won 4-1 against Antwerp. What a team. Anyway, so that's how the Champions League Group 3, match day 3 comes to an end. So there are some interesting games that I'm just going to give my thoughts on, talk about how they have made an impact. But we all know what we need to talk about. Harry Maguire. Is this going to be the season where Harry Maguire find himself in Manchester United shirt? And also, can Onana's performance in this Manchester United game, which was played yesterday, become what he needed to actually start to introduce himself as the player that Manchester United knew when they were signing him, or what they expected him to be when they were signing him? Because he saved a penalty. that penalty meant all, because if they had drawn the game or lost, that is as good as going out of the Champions League. But now they have a fighting chance because of Andre Onana. And guess what? Their next game is also against Copenhagen, but they're going to their home ground. So it means it gives them an advantage that if they beat again Copenhagen, they already have 6 points in their first 4 games. So as much as they could, it might look like they're not a lot of points, that gives them at least a fighting chance. That's all I'm talking about. But that's how things are looking like at the moment, people. It looks like United found their ways. It was not a good game. So many people were watching the game complaining about how irritating the game was to watch, complaining about how they felt like there was something else to do rather than to watch the game. So I'm not going to be one of those people, and I'm not going to entertain whatever they were saying. I'm just going to give you the truth as it is. Sometimes the performance doesn't really matter. In the long run, this might affect United if they don't change the way they're performing. But at this moment, if they got the 3 points on the board, that's what all matters at this moment, because it has been really, really difficult for them to find a better performance. And also could be, I'm not saying that I'm a fortune teller, could be what they need as they build up to the Manchester derby, as they'll be playing Man City on the weekend. So you never know. This small performance could actually leave people surprised, but some people need to find their form. What has happened to Marcus Rashford? I saw Garnacho had a one-on-one chance. I have no idea why he did not score that. So there are so things like that. And some people are talking about how maybe United playing without Casemiro could actually become what they need if they want to continue going forward. And in my thoughts, I'm like, what? I don't think that makes sense. But anyway, I'm not a Manchester United fan, and I might not even know what is happening in their minds and why they're thinking this way. But that's what they're talking about. And so as we think stands right now, they played so well, and I was really excited. Let's see where they can go as they build up to the next. As we move on to the next one, Manchester City playing against Leipzig. I think, no, it was not Leipzig. Before that, let's talk about Sevilla versus Arsenal. Arsenal coming from a 2-2 draw against Chelsea. It was a game that so many people did not even predict it that way. And so many people, especially me, you have seen the video on the Connect. You can go back, you can go watch it if you haven't. I have become one of the doubters of Arsenal, and going to play against Sevilla and going to demand a performance and scoring 2 goals, that tells you so much about this team. And I hope they can build on from this, because what I saw in the weekend gave me any reason to believe that there is direction over this squad. But if they're able to change it, then okay, I'll come up back here, hold this thing in my hands, and tell you that, guess what, I was wrong, people. But at the moment, until that happens, we have to hope. Let's see where they go. But at this moment, it looks like they're trying to find their form, and whatever way they're going to find it, they just have to find their form, because they cannot, I repeat, they cannot continue playing like this and hoping for the best. That never works. That will never work, and it will always lead to terribleness, if you know what I mean. Terribleness. Anyway, so those are some of the bigger games. Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham, that's the only player that I need to talk about. Of course, they're playing Braga. Braga could be a small team when you analyze it. You might think that it's really a small team, so it doesn't really matter. But they are demanding respect. They are demanding respect. Real Madrid are beating teams, fighting, showing the world that they have something to prove. And for me, I respect that. I respect that, because that tells me that they have something to prove, and they are proving it. They are proving it. So I was really excited. Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham, it looks like it was a match made in heaven, which is coming to reality, flourishing. I wanted Jude Bellingham at Liverpool, and so many people can see why. This kid is just phenomenal. He's amazing. He is amazing, and he has taken the world by storm. He has surprised so many people, and I can't wait to see how it goes with El Clasico this weekend. An exciting weekend, I'm telling you. El Clasico is weekend, people. Manchester derby is this weekend. we always have something to talk about, and it's going to be an exciting weekend. So let's see how the situation goes. But at the moment, it looks like they are fighting. They are demanding respect, and I'm for it. I respect it. Let's see how far they go, and let's see what happens with Real Madrid. As we move on to Newcastle, I don't get it. How does that even happen? You get to beat a PSG, and you go lose to a Dortmund. Does that make sense? You beat a PSG, which of course people are expecting to be the bigger team in the group. Then you go lose to Dortmund. Now that forces Newcastle to move lower than Dortmund, because I believe PSG beat Dortmund and PSG were beaten by Newcastle. What a crazy group of death. AC Milan are the only team with no win yet. Only 2 draws. One of those draws is Newcastle, the other draw is, of course, Borussia Dortmund, but they lost to PSG. Exciting group. That's all I have to say. Exciting group. Anyway, so it's crazy. Maybe it's because of Tonali's situation. Remember, Newcastle are losing Tonali for about 10 months. That's one of the news that I was going to talk about, so I'll leave that for the news. But it's a crazy, crazy group of death. It looks like every team has lost a game. Every team has lost a game. But what does this win does for Dortmund? It gives them the boost, because if they beat Newcastle at their home, remember they beat Newcastle at Newcastle's home, where the Geordies were making noise. Now if they come to their own home and they beat them again, that takes them so far now. So that becomes an exciting moment now. So can't wait how they're going to do it. But at the moment, it looks like it's exciting times. It looks like it's exciting times. As we move on. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section about the Champions League group and what you're thinking. And PSG had to demand respect, and beating AC Milan by 3-0. That screams respect. That just screams respect. And that's all I can say with PSG. What else do you want me to say? As we talk about Porto versus Antwerp, I've just heard that their defender Pepe has now become the oldest player to feature in the Champions League team. That's crazy. I don't know. I think he's now going to 41 or 42 years, and he's still playing as one of the best defenders I've ever seen. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Those are the bigger games that were played that I needed to talk about. Oh, Man City beating Young Boys. Yeah, they did it. That's all I can say. But Celtic playing against Atletico Madrid, drawing 2-2, causing Atletico so much craziness that they got a red card. Maybe there's so much that is coming from Scotland than what people are expecting. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Because it looks like they are demanding respect and they are fighting. And I, for myself, I respect that. Let's see how far that goes. But it's exciting times, you know. Exciting times. Anyway, people, those were the group stages as they come to an end. I think I've talked about the bigger games. Have I missed out of anything that you want to hear me talk about? Bayern Munich beat Galatasaray by 3-1, and we expected that. Inter beating Salzburg, people expected that. So there's not so much to talk about when it comes to the Champions League. I want to actually talk about Tottenham Hotspurs in the second part of this. Let's talk about Tottenham Hotspurs, because from the time of recording right now. Oh, before I go to Tottenham Hotspurs, I just remembered something. I just wanted to give you my last cover of how the groups are looking like in the Champions League before I move to Tottenham Hotspurs, so you already know what's coming after the Champions League review. So Group A, it stands as this: Bayern Munich are on top, 3 wins, and they have 9 points, followed by Galatasaray with 4 points, as they've won a game, drawn a game, and lost a game. As we look at Manchester United, that are number 3 now because of beating Copenhagen, which gives them a chance. I repeat, it gives them a chance to either go to the next level or maybe go to Europa. You never know. With Copenhagen becoming the guide team that is holding the tail end of the group. Exciting times, people, exciting times. So that's how Group A is looking like. Group B, we are seeing Arsenal leading the group as they have won. They have 6 points. The team that follows next them is actually Linz, from France, who beat Arsenal, by the way. Sevilla, number 3, still no win, 2 draws and 1 loss against Arsenal. Then we have PSV, who have actually drawn 2 and lost 1 as well, same as Sevilla. So I think it's still an open group. Things can still change for this one. Any team can still qualify. But at this moment, Arsenal looks like they're going to be running away with the group. As we go to Group C, Real Madrid, 9 points. Means they've won all the 3 games. And Napoli follows them with 6 points. Draw 1-2, lost 1, which is the Real Madrid game. Braga lost 1-1 and lost 2. Union Berlin, I think that the Whipping Boys, they're losing everywhere. So I think we know who's going to run away with that group. As we move on to as well, Real Sociedad are the ones who are topping Group D, followed with 7 points, same as Inter. They have the same number of points. Salzburg are number 3 with 3 points. Benfica are number 4. So that's how the group is looking like. As we move on to Group E, Feyenoord is the one with 6 points. They have won 2 and lost 1, while Atletico Madrid has 5 points and they have won 1, drawn 2. Lazio has 4 points, won 1, draw 1 and lost 1, as well as Celtic, drawn 1, lost 2. They need to improve if they can do something, because I'm impressed with the way they played against Atletico Madrid. Group F, PSG have 6 points, Dortmund 4, Newcastle 4, AC Milan 2. So it is an open group. Like I said, things can still change, but let's see what happens after game week 4. Newcastle have the power to go on top of Dortmund, but if Dortmund beat them again at that side, that becomes a different look to how this table is set up at the moment. As we move forward, the Group G, Man City are running away with it, three wins, following RB Leipzig with 6 points. That have lost 1 game, which has to be against Man City. Young Boys have not won a game, but drawn 1, lost 2. And the Kevez Veda have drawn 1 and lost 2. So that's how it's looking like in Group G. Group D, Barcelona running away with it, 3 wins. Porto following them with 6 points, as they've won 2 and drawn 1, lost 1. Shakhtar Donetsk have won 1, drawn 1, lost 2, and Antwerp lost all. That's how the Champions League groups are looking like. Let's see how things can change as we continue, but at the moment, that's how things are looking like. Like I was saying, people, let's talk about Tottenham Hotspurs, because at the time of recording of this, they are sitting comfortably 2 points ahead of number 2. As they stand right now, they're at the top of the league, and Tottenham Hotspurs fans are coming out already telling the world that they're going to win the league. Now, I'm not the one to hate. I don't even hate anybody. Hate any team who are doing well, who are just trying to survive. Can't hate them. They're doing as much as they can. They're trying to prove that they have something to work on. But after 9 games, do you believe a team has ever won the league after 9 games? Especially if you are Tottenham Hotspurs. Now people are going to say that I'm being harsh there when I say especially if you are Tottenham Hotspurs. It's not actually me being harsh, people. I'm just speaking reality as I know it to be. Tottenham Hotspurs, every single time they always do something crazy when you expect them, that they're at a position of strength. That hence the nickname Spursy. That's what people call them. You are being too spacey. You lose when you expect them to win something, they disappoint you. But at the moment, under Postecoglou, they have not really disappointed. In fact, to prove that he has been a good manager, he has already won 2 Manager of the Month, with both different of his players winning Player of the Month differently. Son and Madison running the game one day. But at the moment, they look so strong. They have only drawn twice. They've won 7 times, have lost none. It looks like it's a fairy tale start to any team, especially a team that a lot of people did not even predicted to be in their top 6. That tells you so much about where they are at this moment. I'm excited over where they can go. I'm excited over what they're building. There is a direction with this Tottenham Hotspur's team, by the way. There is something that Postecoglou is going to take away. But as we always repeat, and we still talk about it again, it's not a sprint. If it was a sprint, then all of us would have won it. It's a marathon. That's what the Premier League is. And because it's a marathon, it's not really defined, or it's not really defined by just winning one game or what? Or 9 games. Especially if you still have about more than 20 or 30 games to still play. Oh, I think it's around, because 36, so it's maybe around 28 games to play to finish the league. You have won 9 and 28 to go. So I won't really rush to say that it's done and it's over, but I would say I'm impressed. What a start. People talk about how the league is lost in 10 games, but you can build something, a foundation in the 10 games over where you're going. And I think there's nothing clearer than what Tottenham Hotspur have done. They've built something over the direction of where they're going with this team. So that's why I'm saying I'm impressed. Consider me impressed. But I'm not going to rush it and entertain the rumors that they're going to win the league. Let's go in the middle. Let's see what happens after January. That's when we'll come back to talk. But they played against Fulham people in the weekend, and they won by 2-0. Fairly comfortable, as so many people predicted. It's exciting times, as we can see. So they won. As we move on, the other game which was played was Aston Villa versus West Ham. That was one of the games that I did not talk about in the last video, if you remember. We saw Aston Villa show their standard, but also I don't believe that what we saw from West Ham is the end of it. That team is dangerous. Of course, the game ended by 4-1, but it does not reflect the entire game. It doesn't, not in my eyes. It doesn't reflect the entire game. It gives us a direction over where the teams are going, but does not reflect how the game was like. That's me just being honest with you people. We saw that game. It felt more, I do believe at the end of the game, it felt more like maybe it was going to be a 2-2 than a 4-1. But when there were so many mistakes and Aston Villa took advantage of it, they used their strength, they used the players that they have which have skills, and they got the victory. Olu Watkins, I've really been excited by him, as well as Douglas Luiz. So there's so much to talk about these teams. There's so much to see going to the direction of what we are seeing, and one can be impressed by what we are seeing here. But let's see. Like I said, it's a marathon. So many teams are always having one amazing start. We have seen this before. But we will start seeing them. Oh, they'll start being pruned away as the season and the league continues. It will make sense very, very soon. Anyway, so do me a favor, people, if you've watched this video to the very end, click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. Before I go, Aston Villa actually seated 5 now, very close to Liverpool. Exciting times, like I said, exciting times. But anyway, like I said, if you have watched this video to the very end, you are one of the stars and I respect you. Click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. And I'm in a hot country at the moment, so to any people who's watching from this side or anywhere which are experiencing the temperatures that I'm experiencing, I would advise drink water. Just drink some water. It's crazy. Thank you very much for watching. It's been Sam. I'm out. Click the like button, subscribe to Connect. We'll be back again with another one. Peace. We out.